Welcome to everyone who is joining us today for our fourth session in the Back to Basics on Java series. So today is all about the introduction to databases on Azure. We're joined again this week by Julian Dubois. So Julian manages the Java developer advocacy team in Microsoft, and delighted to be welcoming him back again today. This session will last 30 minutes. It is being recorded and that recording will be made available to you. So just keep an eye out on the relevant meetup pages where you signed up. You do have the opportunity to ask questions throughout today in that Q&A window. We'll also be posting some useful links in that window as well for you to be able to follow along. So I will hand over to Julian to get us started.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Emma. So I'm very happy to be back today to talk about databases. So it's the fourth session of our Back to Basics series. If you missed the first sessions, you can watch them on YouTube. And if you miss them, you can still follow this one while we build on what we have learned on the previous sessions, but it's fine if you didn't see them, honestly. So we're going to talk about databases on Azure for Java developers. So let me get started right now. I'm Julien Dubois, so Emma already introduced me. People usually know me because of the Gipster open source project. Gipster supports all the databases you have in Azure. So if you want to check out Gipster to do something a bit more complex than what we're going to do today, well, please have a look. It's basically the same, but you have a lot more power and you can do more things with it, but it's basically the same thing that we are going to do today. Also, people know me because I'm a Java champion and because I manage the Java developer advocacy team at Microsoft. Don't hesitate to follow me on Twitter. If you did last week, well, I did a poll yesterday to ask which database you wanted to play with today, and so PostgreSQL won by a very large margin. So thanks to Twitter, we know that you like PostgreSQL, so we're going to use PostgreSQL today. We'll be talking a bit more about that later. As you join us, there is some swag to get today. So Emma is going to post you the link in the chat. If you fill in that form, it's very simple. We will select some people at random who filled up the form, and you will get $10 credits to spend on Open Collective. I don't know if you know Open Collective. It's a platform to give money to open source projects, so you can spend that money to any open source project that you like that is on Open Collective, and so then you will have your picture there saying that you gave money to them, and that's cool. What we will learn today, so we are going to talk about managed databases on Azure. So first we will talk a little bit about what is a managed database. And then I will do a quick tour of what is available on Azure. And of course, the main course today will be creating a managed database on Azure and connecting to it and playing a bit with it with Java. So if you were there last week, I had this great slide about App Service on Azure. It's basically going to be the same thing today for managed databases. On Azure, you can install your databases yourself. So it will be on the far left. You buy your VM and you install the database on it. But we also have the same thing as a platform as a service for database. That's what I call managed databases. So that's on the far right. If you go to the far right, you have less control. Basically, I will show you we provide three main databases. So maybe you want another kind of database or a version of a database that we don't provide. So you've got a little less control on the managed database, but you've got far more productivity, as we will see well, in a few minutes. It's very easy to create one. It's fully secured, backed up. Everything is done for you. So as a Java developer, that's probably something you would like. I don't think anybody wants to manage a database by himself. Well, anyway, if you want to, you can on Azure, but I would recommend that you don't. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And why do we care about those managed databases? So first thing is that they are low maintenance. Well, there is a lot of maintenance, but it's done by the cloud provider. It's done by Azure, so you don't do it, which is cool. You've got automatic backups, which is probably the biggest issue with a managed database. You don't want to be responsible for a failed backup and losing all the company's data. That's something that I did when I was young, when I was a trainee. I lost all the data. I dropped a table in production, so I I would recommend you not to have the same experience. Those managed databases have got high scalability. We will see that they can be very small and very cheap, but also scale up very, very well, and probably better than what you can do by yourself. They're very interesting from a budget and cost perspective. So first of all, they're pretty cheap, compared to what you would do by yourself. But also you can control your cost, which is important for a lot of people. And also, last but not least, they are important for compliance. Azure is a cloud which has a ton of certifications. So if you use one of our managed databases, you benefit from those compliance guarantees. Of course, something that is very difficult to do by yourself. On Azure, we've got several different types of managed databases. So we've got some SQL databases, we've got some NoSQL databases. Today we'll focus on SQL databases because it is what most people will use. On SQL databases, we've got three main databases. We've got Azure SQL, which is also called SQL Server. So that's probably the name that you know. So the first one is SQL Server. We've got MySQL, we've got PostgreSQL. So those three databases are managed by Azure. They're basically the same. From an introduction perspective, of course, when you want to do more complex stuff, they are not the same at all. And that's why. So I did a little Twitter poll to ask you which one you wanted to use. For an introduction, it's going to be basically the same for those three ones. In Azure, we also support some NoSQL databases. The most famous one is CosmosDB, which is our NoSQL solution. And CosmosDB has got APIs for SQL, MongoDB, and Cassandra. So it's a great solution if you want to do some NoSQL with Azure. So again, here we've got you covered, whatever the type of database you want you to use. And what is interesting to know about all those databases is that they can be accessed either with classic JDBC API. So as a Java developer, I usually use JDBC to access my database. But you can also use them using reactive APIs, which is something new. It's something called R2DBC. If you don't know about reactive APIs, please have a look. It's very interesting. It will allow you to scale better and to have better stability for your applications. Of course, it's a little bit more complex. But all of those databases support reactive APIs, so you can choose between either blocking classical APIs or reactive APIs depending on your needs and I would say on your likes. Maybe you'd rather use reactive API because it's more fun. If you want to have documentation about all of those, so I just put the documentation for the SQL databases, so Azure SQL, MySQL, PostgreSQL. We've got, in fact, 4 pages of documentations for each. There is JDBC, it's like normal JDBC access. We've got also Spring JDBC, so when you access using the Spring framework, I only put JDBC because between JDBC and Spring JDBC, it's a bit like the same. We've got documentation for GPA, so GPA is a framework on top of JDBC that will help you use your database. That's what I will use today. And then you've got R2DBC, which is a reactive API. So we've got documentation for all of those, and for the 3 databases, I wrote all those documentations for all the databases, so they should all look the same because I did them specifically to look the same. And of course, that's why I did the Twitter poll. I could use any of those today. So today we will use PostgreSQL with GPA. I think Emma will post you the link on the chat. So PostgreSQL is hugely popular. That's what we saw in the Twitter poll. Also, just a side note on the Jeepster project that I'm working on. On Jeepster, we are also having PostgreSQL as a default database starting in our next release. So it looks like PostgreSQL is having a lot of success. And when you want to use PostgreSQL, usually people will use GPA, that's what we'll do today. Or if they want reactive APIs, they will use R2DBC. But I would say that today with PostgreSQL and GPA, we have got something which is very usual for a Java developer. So what we're going to do right now, it's my last slide. So we're going to create a database. Like last week, you can do it in 3 different ways. Either using the Azure portal, which I will do right now. The Azure portal is a graphical web interface, so it's easy to get started. You can also use the Azure CLI, so our command line interface. It's more powerful and you can automate more stuff, but it's a bit more complex. It's not graphical. And then you can automate everything, especially using Terraform. So Terraform is a tool I am pushing more and more. Already talked about it last week. I will encourage you to have a look at Terraform. We will release more tooling about Terraform pretty soon. Hugely important, especially when you use managed databases to automate your work. And this is a great tool to do it. Once you've got your database on Azure, you will need to do a few things. You will need to open up its firewall because it's secured by default. You will need to have some kind of strategy to manage its schema because you need to update it. Then you need to code using either GDBC or A2DBC. And so that's what we're going to do right now. And then if you want to learn more, don't forget we've got the full Java learning path of Microsoft Learn. Today we've got 12 modules. We are going to release 3 more or 4 more pretty soon. In total, we will have 20 modules in like 2 or 3 months. So there's a lot of things to learn there. So if you want more information, please go to MS Learn. Well, we've got a lot of hours of free trainings over there, which is going a bit further than what we're going to do in 20 minutes right now. So let me close this and let's go to my IDE. So that's where we left last week. So again, if you were not like last week, if you were not here, don't worry, it's very simple. Last week, we did a simple Java project, Hello World, and it had a simple controller that was saying hello to Emma because Emma is our host. So last week, we just developed that simple application and deploy it to Azure. And that's cool, but it's not enough. Of course, you want to connect to a database to do something meaningful because just saying hello, Emma is not going to be a real application. We want to connect to a database, and let's say we're going to have a login string login. I'm going to pass the login in as a parameter login, and I'm going to want to do something with that string, of course, and query the database. Let me just add a pass variable from string. So now what I'm going to query the /login URL, I'm going to have a login string. I'm going to be able to use it here. And why is it red? Is it incompatible? Oh yeah, because it's not a string. Well, it's not happy. It should be happy. It will be happy later. We'll see. So let's create the database and have a look at this. Oh. Hang on, I forgot. Where did I forget? It's everywhere. Line 10, yeah. It's here. Hang on, it's me. This thing is disturbing. Hang on. Sorry about that. Let me just. Oh, sorry, it's me. Oh, I'm getting tired. I should put it here. It's just me getting tired. And also, usually I use Visual Studio Code. I don't know why I switched to IntelliJ. By the way, I should use Visual Studio Code for my demos, and I'm lost with IntelliJ. So please don't do like me. Use Visual Studio Code. It's made by Microsoft. It's better. And you don't have those strange things like this arriving. I don't know what this is. Okay, let's move on. Let's create the database because time is running. So again, this is where we left last week. Here it is. So I had created a resource group, and inside it, I had an app service running, so an application running. Well, let's click on the application. Oh, need to sign in again. And we can see the application running. Come on. The application is here, and the application should say, should say hello Emma. It's because I restarted it. I did some tests yesterday, but it should say hello Emma. Hang on. Let me. I'm going to fix this right now. I'm going to have the default one here again. There's nothing, which is hello Emma. And I'm going to package this, and I'm going to deploy it again. So we can have hello Emma running. So that's basically what we did last time. I'm going to give it some time to deploy, and let's go back here and create the database. So in my resource group, I got no database yet, so I'm going to create one. So I'm clicking on Add. Here, I'm going to click on Database. So I've got many databases. We talked about them before. I'm going to select PostgreSQL. And it's syncing a little bit, but it should arrive. Come on. Come on. Sorry, I refreshed, it looked unhappy, but PostgreSQL should arrive. Okay, if it's not happy, I'm going to do it that way. PostgreSQL. Let's take this one. So let's create a new PostgreSQL server. So we've got lots of options. I'm going to create a single server. You've got options which are very cheap or very scalable. I'll let you have a look at those because it's too complex for today, of course. I'm going to deploy that in my resource group, which is called Reactor something. Here it is. I'm going to give it a name. So I keep killing them. Reactor demo. I'm going to use this in Europe, where we live, where I live. Here you can have different types of servers. Let's just have a look at them. So by default, we've got a general purpose server, which is a bit expensive, but it's very powerful. I mean, it's a production server. We don't need that here, so I'm going to take the cheapest one, like less storage, only one core. And this one should be, yeah, very cheap. It's like $15 or $17, so it's very cheap. And I'm going to create it with some user and password. So let me just copy paste some. So I have something. So my login name will be Julian, which is my first name, of course. Oh, sorry, and my password will be something I just copy paste. You will see it later. It doesn't matter. I have a firewall, so if you see my password, it's not important. And I'm going to create this. So this is going to take like 5 minutes to create the database. So we have time to discuss on how we're going to use it. And oh yeah, and I forgot I was going to deploy my app again. So let me just deploy it again. So we have the hello Emma working again. So here I'm going to use my database. I want to use here the login to do some query. So I'm not going to say Emma. I'm going to say hello, and I'm going to query. So what we call a repository. So I'm going to call it person repository. So this is what is going to do the request using GPA to my database. I'm going to use it and tell it find by ID, and my ID will be the login. We'll get the data, and Emma will have a name in the database, and we're going to. So let me code this. I'm going to create a new GPA entity. So I'm going to call it class person, and that person class, so it's a GPA entity. So I'm going to annotate it with entity. So entity is not yet in my project. I'm going to tell ID I want to add it. So it's going to add the Spring Boot starter for it. So here it is, Spring Boot starter data GPA. So now I can use GPA in my project. Oh, I also want to use PostgreSQL. So let me add the PostgreSQL driver, PostgreSQL. Here it is. So now in my project, I've got PostgreSQL and Spring Data. So I'm going to be able to use them to query my data. And I've got my person here. And the person has got a login, as we said, because we're going to find it using the login. And it's going to have a name. And that's all. So my login needs to be annotated using GPA, using the ID annotation. And I'm going to need, well, those are optional. So you can have getters or setters or not. I'm going to put them because it's, I would say, prettier, but you don't need them. And also, I'm going to create 2 constructors, one constructor to easily create some users. And so that's the GPA standard. It forces me to have an empty constructor, so I need one also. So here's my entity. So I'm going to query it by login, and I will get the name of the person. And for this, we're going to use a repository. So it's an interface, which I wanted to call person repository, which extends GPA repository. So GPL repository is going to return a person using its ID, which is of type string. So here it is. And it's a Spring Boot repository. So this is all I need to do to query the entity person and get its data. So I'm going to use it right now. I wanted to use it here in my controller. I'm going to inject it here. So private person repository, Oh, and one little trick. I put it final, so nobody can modify it later. And because it's final, I need to add it to my constructor. So here it is automatically. And so it's going to be injected automatically to my code. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Did we? I think we deployed the app, so this should work now. If we use the app, it should say hello Emma now. I'm thinking a little bit. Well, we'll go there later if it's too slow. It's not very important. So I've got my controller. My controller is using my repository to ask for some data in my database, and we'll return it. Let's have a look at the database. Was it created yet or not? It's not created yet. No, it's created yet. So it's here. Here is my database. So my database is ready. And of course, because I'm doing a demo, everything is slow. That's just the web UI, so it's not really my fault. Let me refresh it, maybe. Yeah. No. Come on. Be nice with me for my demo. Let me go there like this. Well, I would love to be able to show this to you. Hang on, I'm going to go here. So in my research group, I can see my database, and if I click here, well, it should. Well, no, it's all slow everywhere. So let's wait a little bit until the database appears, and it's already there normally. So I'm going to prepare to connect to it using my IDE. So we said we had two things to do. We needed to open up the firewall, so I haven't done it yet, so I won't be able to connect. But we also needed to have a strategy to add some data to the database, to manage our database schema. So I'm going to use here. I've got a database editor here. I'm going to connect to my database here using IntelliJ. So I'm going to call it Azure. My host name, it should be, hang on, I'm going to copy paste this. I can't. Hang on. I'm just going to copy paste this somewhere. It's again, I've got some bug with IntelliJ, but I'm going to go around it. Here it is. So database PostgreSQL. So I'm going to call it Azure. My database is going to be called Reactor Demo, and then it will be postgres.database.azure. That's, I mean, we will see it in the web UI as soon as the web UI arrives. My username was Julian, and at the name of the database, so Reactor Demo, and I've got a password. It should be hidden, but again, if you see it, it's not very important because I've got a firewall. So by the way, if I test my connection now, it's going to fail because of the firewall. So if I test it here, it should fail. So it's not happy, of course. And now, hopefully, yes, we have access to the database. So here is my web UI available with the database. So first of all, the server name is here. That's what I wanted to copy paste earlier, and the admin username is here. So initially, I just wanted to copy paste this from here without cheating like I just did. And the second thing I need to do is open up the file. Hang on. Ah, are you still here?
Hi, Julian. Are you still with us?
Hello again. Are you here?
Yeah, we can hear you, Julian. Yeah.
Sorry about that. It's connection issue again, like last week. So I need to have a backup connection. I don't know. And I was saying the issues were about my the Azure portal. Maybe it's on my side. It's my connection. Firewall. Two things here. Here I can open it up for all Azure services. That's what I want if I want my web application to be able to connect to my Azure database. So I'm going to say yes here. And I can also add my client IP, so my computer IP here. I'm going to do that also. So now I'm able to connect to the database using my own computer, but also I will be able to connect to the database using my Azure App Service instance. So let me just go back here. And now when I'm going to test the connection, as the firewall is opened, well, clicking here should work now. Yeah, and it's happy. So I'm going to say yes. So first thing I wanted to do is open up the firewall. It's done. And second thing I wanted to do is manage my database schema. I'm just going to create a new database, which I will call demo. So here I'm doing it manually, of course. In real production, you should have some strategy here, maybe some SQL scripts that you will want to run, maybe use a tool like Liquibase or Flyway to generate your database schema. That's, well, up to you. So I created my database. My code is ready. Now I need to connect to the database using Spring Boot. For this, why do I have this already? Oh yeah, that's I cheated. That's what I just copy pasted before. So it's already coded for me. What you need to do here is to have three variables: your database URL, your username, and your password. So you all know my password now. Again, it's not very important because I've got a firewall, and I will delete this in a few minutes. And concerning also Spring, I'm going to add two more properties. This one is just to show the SQL request I will do, so it will be easier for you to see what I'm doing. And I'm using this to tell it to create and drop automatically my database tables when I run them. So it's going to be good for debugging. I forgot one thing. We need some sample data. We don't have any sample data yet. There are many ways to create some sample data. I'm just going to add some data here in the hello controller. So the person repository is going to save some new person. And my person will be, let's say, I'll put myself this time. Oh, sorry, the login will be lowercase. It's easier that way. So the person will be me. And let's say, let's just have one person for the moment. So when my app will start, it will create the database, add this person to the database. It will be available. And then I'll be able to query it using the /login URL, and it should find, well, myself when I'm going to query it. So first of all, let me run it locally to see if it works. And then if we have time, I'm not sure we will have time, I will deploy it to the cloud to see if it works in the cloud. So if it is locally, let me take console. So if I do a curl localhost, not need HTTP anyway, localhost 8080. So this is going to answer my default, which is hello Emma. And if I put /Julien, this is going to go to the Azure database and find my full name, which will be Julien Dubois. And yeah, here it is. And you can see here the SQL query that was posted. So this is working locally. Let me deploy it to the cloud. Not sure we'll have the time to see this, but otherwise just trust me, it's working the same once it's deployed. So I'm packaging my app and then I'm deploying it. And well, it's going to be normally the same. So again, all I needed to do was create a database using the web UI. Hang on, let me just deploy. Let me just go back to the web UI. Then I needed to open up the firewall. Once the firewall was opened in IntelliJ, so I coded some stuff with GPS. So I coded a repository to access my data, and I coded an entity. and then I just use them here. Most importantly here, I did find by ID, login, get the data, and get the name of the person. And last thing I need to do was configure my web application to connect to the database, which was done doing this classical Spring Boot configuration file, where I have the URL, the login, and the password. So it's not very complicated to do, and now I've got a fully managed databases ready for production. And by the way, if I'm not happy with the performance, I can still update it to have something more. We've got different pricing tiers. So this is the lower one because I'm doing a demo and it's pretty cheap. But I can use, of course, something which is more expensive, more redundant. I can have more CPUs. Like here, I can ask to have 2 CPUs, and so on and so forth. Let me just go back to the application. So that's the default, which is Hello Emma. I'm not sure it has already deployed this one. Well, I'll keep it running for some time, and as soon as it's here, well, hopefully you will have a nice demo. I'll do it with curl. It's not there yet. It should happen pretty fast. If you want to test, by the way, you can just do it by yourself. I will keep it running for like 5 minutes if you want to test, and then I will destroy everything. The good thing with Azure, don't forget when you do those demos, I put everything in the same resource group. So you just delete the resource group, here it is, and everything will be deleted and you will not pay anything. So you just need at the end to click delete and you're good, and you don't pay for anything. So it's doing that kind of test is very, very cheap. It's usually free, or you're going to pay a few cents for it. So it's a good way to test and learn without spending any money. I think we're totally out of time, or a little bit out of time. Just having a look at the Q&A, or Emma, as we are out of time, I don't know, do we stop here?
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here, Julian, for today. But I've sent through the relevant links for today's session in the Q&A. So for anyone who wants to follow along, access the slides, and also to be part of our giveaway, all of those links are in there. Julian, thanks so much for today. It's been great to have you on this series.
Sorry, Emma, and we're live. If you go to do the curl, it's working. Sorry, Emma, I just wanted to say it was all working.
Brilliant. Good way to end it. To show it's not working. Brilliant. And please do join us for next week's session is with Sandra, and then we'll look at the introduction to serverless on Azure. So I'll just drop the link in there for those of you who want to sign up early. But thank you everyone for attending. Can't wait to see you all again next week.
Thank you.